I got a question for you.
Go for it.
A lot of people say they pursue a lot of goals and challenges and pursuits, races, preps, because they want to reach their full potential. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think they actually want to reach their full potential, or is it something a lot of people just say? And I share that to say that I've said it before.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I actually believed when I said that. I think that I used to say I would do these things to reach my full potential, maybe just to justify why I was doing these things. I'm not saying there's a right or wrong, but I'm just curious your thoughts.
I think it's an easy out. I think saying to reach my full potential is a bit of a. I think there's always more to it than that, right? There's always more what potential and what. Are you willing to reach your full athletic potential, your full life potential? What potential are we talking about here? Potential is just, we all have potential. It's the doing it that makes a difference. If I had this, if I did this, it doesn't matter. You either do it, you don't do it. To reach my full potential, I don't think I've ever really said that, but I can imagine, I've heard it a lot of times. And hey, you know what? I think sometimes it can be a bit of a shield for someone to say, as a way of, they maybe have a real genuine reason behind something, but maybe they want to try and protect that a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it's an easy way to do it. And I'm not one to criticize or judge anyone for when they say their reasons behind doing it, because a lot of the time these things have very deep meanings to people and they may not want to just put that out there. And so I do appreciate and respect that. But I think full potential looks different to everyone as well. I think what some people want to just have a life that's not too stressful and they're happy. And that for them, that's living at full potential. Some people want the stress, they want the responsibility, they want the pressure. And for them, that's living fully at their full potential, because they know, hey, I think I can operate at that level. I think I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this. And I want to find out if I can. And that's true as well. They're all true statements,
Yeah. I think we go through different, and again, I will reinforce what you just said. Like, there's not a right or wrong.
For sure.
But as I've moved through different seasons of life, and I believe I've matured and gained some wisdom. Because I was someone that once said, like, I do these things to reach my full potential.
Yeah.
And now as my life looks different in terms of leadership and family and being a father and a husband and the man that I want to be, I can't imagine being on my deathbed being like, yeah, Nick, you did it.
Yeah.
You ran the 2:39 marathon. You did it. You ran the 100 miles.
You're just their family's over there. You're looking at the medals, being like, we did it. Yeah.
And like, I was thinking about that on a run a while back.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it does feel a little silly.
Yeah.
At this point, but I think that's part of growing and just maturing and wisdom. And
sure.
I just wanted to get your take on it, because I can tell by this conversation, like, you have so much intention. I've always respected the way that you approach these preps. There's so much intention and strategy. And like, I'm seeing this healthy emotional relationship to the prep, which it's very unique. It's very rare.
Thank you.
Very rare. And I can tell the reason, the meaning behind these preps is very personal.
For sure.
And it's very unique. And to be honest, like, in the space that we're in, the fitness industry, I think you'd probably be surprised how rare it is for someone to have that mindset and approach, a very healthy, mature approach to what you're doing. I really respect that.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Really respect that.
No, I think it's important. I think, as you pointed about earlier, when you have a following, when you have a level of responsibility to an audience, you are. I think you should be very conscious about the whys behind doing things. I don't want to, if I'm being an example to people, especially younger people, because that's one thing I really do focus on, is like, who is that 15-year-old that I was watching my content, who's making the decisions in life and maybe isn't too happy with where they're at in life. Like, how should I approach this from the perspective of showing that to them? If I'm out there being like, run a marathon every day and do this, I don't think that's the wisest thing for me to influence someone to do there. I think the important thing is to improve. Obviously, fitness is a fantastic tool and a way of improving your relationship with yourself, with those around you, your friends, your family. It's a wonderful thing. But I think sometimes also people can misuse fitness. People can use, it's like they say, discipline without self-love is a form of self-harm. And that's really stuck with me, because there's been times when I felt maybe I've gone a bit too hard in my training and I'm really pushing it because I'm maybe distracting myself from feelings as opposed to understanding my feelings and emotions, and opposed to, doing something because it's a healthy way of showing up for myself and as a sign of self-respect and self-love. It can almost be a sign of self-punishment.
Yep.
I'm very careful about that because I think there is a toxic side to fitness that often isn't overlooked, because the toxic side can often lead to incredible outcomes for people and incredible results for people. And especially when, people go from race to race to race to challenge, from event to tournament to this, it can be, whilst it's really cool and good for engagement for lots of people on social media, it can create a bit of a trap for lots of people. And I do worry that sets a bad example sometimes. Mm-hmm. That's why I have a massive emphasis on taking time off afterwards. I've got a month where I got no formal training after this race. I'm just going to let my body sit, let my body rest. I'll casually train for a month before I, go and make sure everything's checked out, make sure things are good, make sure I'm healthy, make sure I'm sleeping well, make sure that, I feel good. We'll do some baseline testing with my coaches to see where we're at. But the last thing I want to do is finish a backyard ultra marathon where I intend to go to my absolute limit, and then, a week after start hammering hard sessions again. And it's like, no, could I do it? Maybe. Should I? No. And I think it would be irresponsible of me to be doing that kind of stuff as well. Because I think, at the end of the day, when you are in a position where people respect you, you're a part of I'm a representative of not just myself, but BPN for Lululemon, for other brands I work with. I have a responsibility to my audience to do things right and do things sensibly and not be a poor influence on them. I think that's really important for me to hold myself to that standard, because don't get me wrong, when you achieve something big, a part of you is like, let's rip another one. Let's do another one.
Yep.
You have to hold yourself back. And that's also where I have a very good team of, my agent or my coach who's like, there are times when I'm going to have to tell you to stop and pull yourself back. Same way my physio, Adrian, fantastic guys, currently flying out, landing in a couple of hours. When we do these big challenges, like we did a really big challenge in 2024 that I was successful at it, but we had a lot of issues on that challenge. The only way that ended was when he pulls the plug on it, because he's responsible for my health. And if he was to say, hey, Jonny, you're now doing something that could potentially hurt yourself in the long run, I say, cool, then we'll finish that. And I think it's really good to have someone who has that control over you. Because I know I'm like, when I'm trying to run and do these things, mm-hmm. I'm probably not the best judge of my own decisions, because I'm probably looking at it from an angle of, well, I've invested all this time, this effort, this energy. I want to keep going. I want to push it. I don't care if I get hurt. Obviously, I do care if I get hurt, but when you're in that moment, it's a lot harder to make those calls.
Yeah.
So having someone like Adrian for me, who has that, who can supersede whatever I'm saying, and he's got my best interests at heart. He's there to take care of me, because sometimes I'm not going to always take the best care of me. The thing about ultra running, which is uniquely difficult, where you are ultimately pushing through a lot of pain and a lot of, where a lot of people would stop running going, well, my legs are in agony now. Say you're 100 miles deep. It takes a very strange person to go, great, now let's keep going. But to know the difference between I'm in pain or I'm injured.
Yep.
There is a fine line between that, one that I'm probably not best to make that decision on. So that's why I have him there to really be like, hey, you could be fucking yourself up here.
I remember watching your post G1M Ultra last year.
Yeah.
And it really struck a nerve with me.
Yeah.
So I remember you went to New York City, but I believe it was after the G1M Ultra.
No, that was after the
50 miler?
50 miler, yeah.
That was at the 50 miler. I was going to say, it didn't feel like it was a year ago.
Yeah, that was in October, yeah.
It was after the 50 miler. I remember watching you go to New York City and you enjoyed all this food.
Yeah.
And you relaxed, and then you took time off from running, and then you documented yourself starting to run again.
Yeah.
And I remember, I don't know why this sticks in my head, but I remember you going for a run and you were talking about how you could do a run walk, your heart rate was jacked up.
Yeah.
And that was so relatable.
Yeah.
Where typically after I do a prep, 3 days after the race, I start running again, or I'm back into it. I don't allow myself to rest.
Yeah.
But something about that video just struck a nerve in me, where post Ironman, I took 3 weeks completely off from running because of that video.
Oh, yes. Okay. I've had a positive influence on Nick Bear. That's brilliant.
And there's something about that one. I was like, dude, Johnny's doing this. I'm going to do this.